Okay, so good morning. I'm just going to share my screen. You should, in a moment, be able to see the trading view chart for Euro Aussie dollar.
Yeah, that's all.
15 minute. Okay. So my disclaimer, first of all, I'm not licensed to give financial advice. I'm just one of the Ninja Group trying to help others. Any trades that you do take, you must do your own analysis before jumping in. Then we'll have a look at the news. I had a quick look before. There's not a lot going on. There's some German low-level news at 7 a.m. That's all yellow flag. And then there's a couple of European things at 9 a.m. So that they're not really going to affect us. There's some red flag news at 1:30 in the States, but we'll be done and dusted by then. So we'll have a look at my FX book. They sometimes have a slightly different view of things. They've got red flag news. That is just one country in Europe. That's Germany at 7 o'clock. That's Lithuania, I believe. Yeah. So there's nothing. They've put it in as high impact, but it's actually only one country within Europe. So they may use that as a bit of an excuse to do some manipulation. So that's going to be about 7 o'clock, which is the normal time, really, for any big moves that we get. There's some other European news down here at 7:30, 7:45, but all pretty low-level stuff. And again, just one country, I believe. Yeah, that one's France. So it's not the entire. It's not entirely Europe in its entirety. It's just individual countries. So not a lot to affect the news this morning. So what we do is I first of all put a little rectangle on the time span that I'm interested in, which is from 6 a.m. through to 8 p.m. Sorry, 8 a.m. I just do that purely to as a visual thing to keep my eye focused on the time span that we're interested in. Now, what we're waiting for is for this 6 o'clock candle to close. I'm on the 15-minute chart, so that gives us 6 minutes to get set up. We don't take any trades until the 6 o'clock candle is closed. So all we do is we put a couple of lines on, a couple of trend lines. We put one above the current price and the second one below the current price. I'm going to change the top one to green. And that's because this is going to be my buy trend line, the green one, and the red trend line is going to be the sell trend line. And basically, we're looking for price to go above the green line, and we'll consider getting in for a buy, or below the red line, and we'll consider getting in for a sell. Not quite as straightforward as that, but we'll get to the rest later. So just a couple of things whilst we're waiting. If anybody wants to take a screenshot. The morning Crossfire session is we look at 4 pairs, and those are the 4 pairs. The reasoning behind that is that the Asian market, so that's Sydney, Australia and New Zealand markets are getting ready to close at this time of day. And the London market is getting ready to open. And in that handover period, there is a certain amount of price manipulation goes on, just so that the major institutions can get price to where they want it to be, generally under the disguise of the news that comes out. So that's what we're focusing on this morning. It could be anywhere between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. when there's an unusual movement in price, and that's what we're looking for to capture a few pips at that point. If anybody wants to look at the in the guides section in the Ninja Facebook group, we've got a few videos under Crossfire, and we've got a workbook in guide number 10, or it was the last time I looked. They keep getting moved around. Okay, so we can't do anything until this 6 o'clock candle is closed. Good opportunity if anybody's got any questions.
Morning, Richard.
Morning, Malcolm.
Morning, everybody else who's still there. Tony. Oh, just the three of us.
Morning, Malcolm.
Sorry to hear about all your techie bits yesterday, Richard.
Yeah, well, it was a combination of things, but it might have been a blessing in disguise, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a proper recorded version, and we'll put that in the guide section. It'll be a bit slightly more structured, and I will cover the points that you asked about.
Okay.
I've got a written plan now to do that, but probably this afternoon I'll get it recorded. Okay, so as I say, what we do is we get set up on the 15-minute chart, and then when we finally put these lines in place, we look for we drop down to the 5-minute chart and we put the indicator on. In the meantime, what we can do is put these green line, these two trend lines roughly in place. So what we do is at 6:15, we look at the top of that green. We look at the top of the 6 o'clock candle, which is the top of the wick there, and we look left and we look for a higher high. Now at the minute, it's that one there. So we'll just drag that across there.
Sorry, Richard. You say you set it all up with the horizontal lines on the 15-minute chart, and then you switch to the 5-minute chart before you actually put them on the top of the wicks.
No, I put them on top of the wick on the 15-minute chart, and then I drop down to the 5-minute.
Right. Okay.
So I'm just roughly placing them in position now. We may have to change them when we get to 6:15, but we're just trying to save a few seconds of time.
For example, the chart you've got there that we're looking at, you've got your temporary sort of one on the top of that red candle.
Yeah.
Would you not go to the 1, 2 to the left of that?
We may have to do that. I mean, it's looking fairly flat. There is a slight incline on that candle right now. So unless that wick pops up a little bit further, I'll leave it where it is. But we'll come to that in just a minute or so. Anything could happen in a minute. So we'll go through the 4 pairs. So looking there, that is actually on the highest, the nearest high. No, actually, it's moved. So that's looking like it's going to be right where it is. But as I say, don't worry about it. We're going to go back through these before we settle down. I'm just putting them where I think they need to be at the minute. I'm just basically filling in time. So we've got a new candle, so we can now actually place them. So looking at the top of that 6 o'clock wick, looking to the left, the green one is about the same sort of height as the 6 o'clock one. The one beyond that is very slightly higher. So I'm going to go to that one. So then we drag it down so that the green trend line actually touches the wick of the 6 o'clock candle. That's near enough for our purposes. You don't have to be 100% accurate. So looking at the bottom of the wick of the 6 o'clock candle, looking left, there's the next lower low. And then drag that so we get a touch on the wick at the bottom. Okay, so we go back through the other 3 pairs and just put them in position. So that's touching there.
Richard, I'm just following you. I've got the same chart open, same 8 cap, British pound, Australian dollar.
Yeah.
that you've got on the screen, and you've got your two to the left of that. Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm getting it right, because I've been doing a few recently, and I think their lines might have been out a bit, and I've been losing, 6 or 7 pips trying to think about staying in, but not getting out. And I'm
Okay. So what you're on Great British Pound, Aussie dollar, yeah, 15-minute chart.
yeah.
And I've got quite a long green wick there on the 6 o'clock candle. I'm looking left, and it's it's 3 candles away on that green one there.
3, yeah, I've got that.
Okay.
And then that goes across the top of the 6 o'clock one.
Yeah.
And likewise to the green and the bottom, which is the one to the left of the 6 o'clock candle, and then to the bottom of the 6. Yeah.
So
I just want to make sure I've got it right, because, as I say, I've been looking at all sorts of things as to why it's not happening.
Okay. Well, that looks fairly straightforward there to me. I'm just going to go to the euro pairs.
The British pound, Aussie dollar. Can I just have a look at that one on yours?
British pound, Aussie dollar. That's the one we were on just then.
Sorry, the British pound, New Zealand dollar.
British pound, New Zealand dollar. Right. Okay.
So yours 2 to the left.
Yeah, I need to. So that looks okay to me. That's just move that out of the way. I just take the magnet off just to help me. Just move that out of the way. What I do is I put my cursor on the top of the 6 o'clock candle and look to the left, and anything above the cursor. So it's looking two candles backwards, 2 candles to the left. Looks the likely one. It is slightly higher than the 6 o'clock one, but that will do. So I need to put the magnet tool back on and just drop it down, and it is pointing slightly downwards. So that's accurate as far as I'm concerned. This one needs adjusting. There we go. So that's touching the bottom, and just looking left from the bottom. Yeah, that's placed. So we've done the 2 British ones. We just need to do the 2 euro ones. So top of the candle is there. In actual fact, I believe that one is actually the nearest one. There's not much in it, but yes, there is an incline, which is what we're looking for. And the same on the bottom. We're going to have to drag that down.
So this is, I was talking to Paul about this yesterday. For some reason, my charts are not looking the same as yours. And yes, I'm on 8 cap and 15-minute. And because the euro New Zealand dollar, my 6 o'clock candle has got hardly any wick at all in it. Hardly any body, with just a little wick above. Is that something to do with the broker's fees, or?
Well, if you're on 8 cap, you're on the same broker feed as I am.
Yeah.
15-minute chart, euro New Zealand dollar.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is maybe in you see where this cog is up here, where it says chart.
Hang on, I got that out of the way, because so which cog? Oh yes, yeah,
there's a cog yes. So near the top right-hand corner.
Yeah.
If you hover over it, it'll say chart settings.
Yes.
I click on that, and I've got body, borders, and wick all ticked.
Hang on, color bars based on that needs ticking, right? Okay.
I've got body, borders, and wick, and I've also got the last price line, all 4 of them ticked.
Yeah, I've got all those ticked.
Okay, that's about all I could think of. I'm going to have a look at appearance. I don't think there's anything there that would affect it.
I've got the session breaks in.
Yeah, okay. Well, if there's nothing there, I'm a bit stuck, but I'll try and find out for you.
Okay,
Why-
well, maybe Richard, after bank holiday, maybe next week sometime we could maybe jump on a Zoom for 10, 15 minutes just to look at it.
By all means, yeah. Okay, so the last one was Euro Aussie dollar, that's the top of the 6 o'clock. That's the nearest one, and the bottom one is going to be quite a steep one. Right, so what we need to do is get that to see down here. It's not quite past it. There is a very tiny wick on my candle there. I just need to get it to pass to touch that wick. There we go. That's as close as I'm going to get it, I think. So go back to reset chart. Yeah, that's not the 100% accurate, but it's as near as I'm going to get it on this screen. Right, so all 4 pairs we set up on the 15-minute chart. So if we drop down to the 5-minute and turn on the Ninjacator and just do a quick review. We generally don't miss much by losing a few minutes at this point in the proceedings. So as we can see, we've got a ninja up, which occurred at 5:15. We're still in a ninja up. The PSARs are below. Price has actually gone up to our trend line and rejected off it. So there's nothing there. I mean, if we were going to go for a buy, we would need the ninja up, but we'd need we need a green candle opening above the green line. If we're going to go for a sell, we'd look for a green candle opening below the red line, which it has done. However, we don't have a ninja down, and the PSAR is still below, and the green and the trend change line is still green, and the 5 is still above. So conditions are not right for us on Euro Aussie dollar. I suspect this one will be very similar. It is. It's. We were in a ninja up. We've gone almost to the up to the line, and then we started to drop down, but there's no ninja down, so we're waiting for a ninja down in that case. GBP AUD. We had a ninja up on the 5 minutes past 6 candle. It went up to the trend line, and then it rejected off it, looking a bit more like a sell, because we've got the red trend line here, and the yellow one is slightly below it. However, we've got a green candle, and if you notice, we've got 2 moving averages down here, and they're going to form some kind of resistance to price getting any lower. We don't have a ninja down. PSAR still below, so nothing going on there. And Great British Pound, New Zealand dollar. We had a ninja down prior to 6 o'clock, and it's just staying in down mode. We've got a red trend change line still pointing downwards. PSAR still above, but we're not below the red line. And I suspect this 50 moving average will sort of hold price temporarily. We could be looking at price going down to these 2 moving averages down here. So that's the 800 moving average, that's a 200 moving average. So if price does break out below this line, we just need to measure this distance to see how many pips are involved. So to that first line, there's exactly 10.2 pips. So we might be interested in that, but we don't rush in at this stage. We need to see price actually come below the line. So that one's looking the closest to making a move. Yeah, that one's still, we've got the two moving averages holding price back. It's actually just made a bit of a move. Hasn't quite taken the PSAR out yet. So we're looking for the PSAR to flip above the candle and to get a ninja down. Now, what often happens in this first part of the 6 till 8 is that the price will appear to be making a move and then it'll change its mind. So this might be one of those situations where it appears that we might be going for a sell, but they could just be going on a bit of a stop hunt and taking out. So anyway, we've got a ninja down. Let's just reset that chart so we can see it. So yeah, that's a definite ninja down. We've got the price below the red line. We've got the trend change line is red and pointing down. We've got the yellow 5 moving average is pointing down and the gap is widening. So that's looking good. Let's just have a look, see where we think price might go to. Now, there is no, just trying to find the 800 moving average. There, it's way up there, look.
It's way above, yeah.
Yeah, so this could be a bit of a false move, but what we can do is take a look left and see if there's any imbalance that needs taking out. Now, immediately I see there's some imbalance here, just below where price is now. So it is possible that this price will come down, take out that imbalance, and then start to move back up. Just look a little bit further back. There's a little bit more imbalance down. Well, actually, that was taken out over here. So now the most recent imbalance is just below where price is now. And that's just going back to 4 o'clock this morning. So they could just be popping down there to pick up that, or to take out that imbalance. Looking slightly bigger chart just to see if we can spot anything else. No, that's the obvious one. Look, this is where price is now. Look left, there's that imbalance down there. Sort of from the bottom of that wick down to the bottom of that body. Just a sliver of imbalance. So I suspect it's going there to pick that up.
Richard, can I just take a screen grab of your chart that you've got there?
Do you want me to stay on the 15, or do you want to?
No, whatever. I'm just trying. I'm struggling really badly at the moment with the fact that my charts, even with all the things, don't look like yours, and I'm doing something wrong.
Right.
Or I just, it's so frustrating because what's going on in my mind says if I'm not getting the right thing, that's why I'm losing money, because either the line is up where it is and it's going in a different direction.
Yeah. Well, if you want to take a screen grab, I'll just leave it where it is for a few minutes.
Yeah.
A couple of minutes.
We're on the British pound, Australian dollar, right?
Yeah.
Because I was talking to Paul and he said you might be on a different pair and don't realize it. You know, I mean,
yeah,
I can understand that. Let me just do that and copy that, and I'll put it on a Word document. And sorry, Tony, I'm not hogging him, but I'm.
No, you're quite right, Malcolm. Just I'm not going to be much help to you, but mine is exactly the same as Richard's, and I'm also on 8 cap, so it is strange.
And you're the same as Richard is.
I'm exactly the same as Richard. I've been looking closely because of your problem. You know, I'm on 8 cap and everything. I'm UK based, so there's no sort of time lags there. You know, everything seems the same. Yeah.
So
it's
I've
very
taken
strange.
a screen grab of the British pound, Australian dollar, right?
Yeah.
Now let me take a screen grab of mine.
Yeah, and if you get chance, if you want to send them to me, once you've got them, send them to me.
I'll send them in a Word document, and you know, whatever critique I would be most things. So if I copy that, We'll go to the Word document and copy. If I just put mine, RLH, it's not quite there. Pull that down a bit. Thank you for this, Richard. I do appreciate it. And
Yeah, not a problem. That's what these sessions are for. That's why I encourage people to get on the Zoom rather than Facebook, because then you can ask your questions and get them answered. I'm sure that when people watch Facebook, they must be shouting at the screen, "Can you help me?" And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So yeah, by all means, you know, everybody.
Richard, while Malcolm's doing that, Richard, just a quick question myself.
Yes, sure.
I've watched James Leone on another strategy before, and he sort of has a checklist of things that he goes down. You know, that needs to be there. That needs. Is there a sort of, even if it's a mental checklist in your own head, that you go through thinking, right, that needs to be there, and I move and have a look at that, and then I move. You know, do you have that sort of thing that perhaps you could pass on to us?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I'm not sure whether I think I've put it in the workbook, but anyway, I'll go through it again. I literally go through this process every time I look at a chart.
You do
on Crossfire. So I'm just going to go through it now. By the way, I'm just going to change the chart. Have you finished with your screen grabs, Malcolm? I just want to go to GBP NZD.
Yeah, you carry on, Richard, doing what you're doing on option. GBP NZD.
I've lost my. Oh, there we go. So we were looking at this. The first checklist, the first point on my checklist is I'm looking for either a ninja down or a ninja up. Now, in this case, on this candle, we got a ninja down. The second thing I look for is for price to be below the red line, which it was. And the third thing I look for is the 13 moving average, which was green but changed to red.
Richard, you're on the 15-minute chart, is that right?
All right, okay, yeah. So I'll go back to the 5-minute chart. Yeah, thanks for that. So
you had me going then.
A bit early in the morning. So we had a ninja down, but this on the 5-minute chart, we had a ninja down prior to the 6 o'clock candle. We didn't get another ninja down, but this one counts. So the PSARs have remained above. So that's sort of qualifying the ninja down. There hasn't been a ninja up, so we're still in a ninja down. Prices dropped below the red line. However, there isn't a gap between the red line. So yeah, there isn't a gap between the red line and the candle. That candle was still sort of clinging to the red line. So in my opinion, that's not a clear sell. And as it happened, the next candle turned around and started to point to price to go back up again. So we were looking like we might be going for a sell, but I didn't get into a sell because of this. That candle was still touching. And the second reason I didn't get in was because this moving average is almost touching. I mean, there's no. You hear Paul talk about is there room to profit, and from where price was there to that moving average is just over 4 pips. So I'm not interested in that. So that's my checklist. I look for an indicator. I look for if it's a ninja down, I look for price to be below the red line and clear of the red line. And I look for the proximity of the moving averages, and if all of those aren't in place, then I don't get in.
So on that chart there, Richard, if that candle that's just opened now had opened red, you still wouldn't get in because there's not enough pippage between that and the. Is that the 500, isn't it?
That's the 800. That's the
800. Sorry, yeah.
But for some reason, the 800 is closer than the 200. But either way, those two lines are presenting way too much resistance for price to go any further down.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get in that trade because of that. That's the reason I'm not getting in.
Yeah.
And just as a confirmation of that, the moving average, the multi-time frame stochastic is showing the 5-minute stochastic way in the extreme. So that looks like it might be turning upwards at any minute now. So there's too many factors preventing me from getting in. The main
too many negative factors on that.
Yes, too many negatives. Yeah. Too many reasons not to get in. So and I'm being proved right because price is actually it's struggling, but it is turning back upwards. So I wouldn't be interested in that trade, mainly because of this these two lines are really strong resistance points.
The one thing I've noticed recently, Richard, is I was trying to force a trade. You know, if there wasn't one there, thinking, well, maybe it will, but you seem to be far more patient than me, and you use the frame sitting on your hands. Yeah. I need to learn to do that.
I find myself these days looking for reasons not to get in a trade, as opposed to looking for reasons to get in. I'm looking for reasons not to get in, and that to me is a classic reason not to get in, because if price does go down, it's going to stop when it gets to that point there. And if it manages to struggle past that, and we could be over here by the time it gets past that, it's then going to have another barrier, and it's going to struggle to get past that. So I'm really not interested in looking at a trade. I'm more interested because we had a ninja down prior to 6 o'clock. My favorite pattern is for us to get a ninja up once we're in this yellow rectangle. I would prefer a ninja up and for price to go above the green line. That would be more consistent with the strategy. I don't discount getting in on a previous ninja, but I do prefer getting in on one that has occurred during the 6 to 8 period. I'm just going to go back through the other pairs because we sometimes miss.
That's the other thing I find, Richard. You get concentrated on one pair, looking at all sorts of things, and then you go to another one. You think, "Sod it! I should have got that because it's gone Wooler."
Yeah. I do believe though that you're better concentrating on one pair until you get it, you get the strategy nailed down. Certainly no more than 2. But I still struggle to concentrate on 4 pairs for these sessions.
Yeah.
But I think if I was just trading on my own, I would probably go for looking at 2 rather than all 4. I just need to say something about this one though, because we were talking about, we've got a ninja down, we are below the red line, the moving averages are looking good. We were talking about the potential for price to come down and take out this imbalance, and it went down to that level there, but it still left some imbalance. So I'm thinking, what's it going to do next? Is it going to go further down and take out the rest of that imbalance, i.e. to the bottom of that body? So where my cursor is now, I've got a dashed black line on the chart now. That is where I'm thinking price might want to go down to take out the rest of that imbalance. So I'm looking for reasons not to get in. I'm thinking if it goes down there, we might be tempted to get into a sell, but for the same reason before, we don't have enough privilege. I think if it goes down, it'll go down to where my black dash line is now and then turn around. So there's not enough in it for me to be interested in that. If we caught it earlier, we might have considered it, but you can't turn the clock back.
But wouldn't that, Richard, be the fact that it's what you call in no man's land? So because it's sort of
Well, actually, it's not, because this will be the no man's land. Inside this wedge
Right.
between
Okay.
the green and the red. That's what I call no man's land. Once it gets past that point, I'm looking to get in for either a buy or a sell.
Right.
But this is just played out to exactly what I thought it might do. It's got down to the bottom of that green wick there. That was the imbalance. It's actually gone way past it now.
Yeah.
So we could potentially have got in, but there's not enough. Well, it's just going to prove me wrong.
There's not enough factors that give you a sense of sort of, I did the right thing.
Yes, that I was just about to say that proved me right, but it's actually gone even further down. So maybe I was wrong. But 9 times out of 10, that red candle would have turned around at that point, because it's taken out that imbalance. I can't see any other imbalance on there, but this has already been taken out. So for some strange reason, it's gone past the imbalance. But
So on that imbalance, Richard, there's quite a long wick on that candle. You don't count the wick as imbalance; you just count the main body, do you?
Well, the reason I don't count the wick is that the reason it's a wick is that its price has gone back up. So it was all buyers, so it was all sellers.
Got you.
Going downwards, and then you got all buyers going upwards. So it's a bit of a. I'm not an expert on imbalance, so I would have counted the imbalance to the bottom of the body, because this has sort of cancelled each other out with the wick.
Yeah,
but,
that's where they're having a fight between them,
yes,
up and down.
Yeah, there were both buyers and sellers involved in that wick.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it was almost entirely buy. Now it's actually proving me wrong, because it's going way down. But you can't be right all of the time. It's I mean, as Paul would say, I'm not in a trade. I've lost nothing. I could have made some profit out of that move if I'd made the right decision, but who was to know? But that's turning out from the top of that body down to where price, which there was 15 pips in that move, which I could have got some pips out of that, but hey ho. It's actually price is trying to turn around. We've got the 5-minute stochastic at the bottom and actually turning back up. So it looks like this downward move has done its thing. But that's an example of staying out when I maybe should have got in. But I'm not worried. I haven't lost any money. Let's go back to the euro pairs, see what's going on there. Takes a minute for me to get my drawings back. There we go. So prices, we were in a ninja up prior to 6 o'clock. It went up as far as our trend line, and then has been pretty much going down ever since then. So because the last ninja was a ninja up, you would be expecting price to go above the green line and get in for a buy. At the minute, it's not in no man's land. It's come below the red line, but we've got we're looking like we might be going for a sell, but we're still in a ninja up. Price did wick down, and look where it wicked down to. It went down to the 800 moving average and then came back up again. So we could have predicted that was a strong magnet and it attracted it down. Maybe price is now going to start to make its way back up. It's 6:45. We quite often get a movement at 7 o'clock or thereabouts. So things are looking as if they might be going to, what has happened in the past. This 5-minute stochastic is moving up. It's struggling to get up because the 15-minute is still on its journey down. So a little bit of, it's like a minor consolidation going on at the minute there. So nothing to attract me there. And similarly there, you see price went down, it's come down to the moving averages, that's the 50 and the 200. They're providing us with some resistance, and prices sort of bounced off, it's rejected. So there's nothing attracting my eye at the minute.
Again, Richard, I'm looking at my chart. That I'm obviously doing something wrong, or my settings are not right, or whatever, because mine looks totally different again.
Oh,
I've
okay.
just copied the link,
Right.
and I'll put that in the Word document as well.
Okay. Well, by all means, send me those drawings, and I'll take a look at them. I'll see if I can spot anything.
Okay, thanks, Richard.
And if I can't, I'll put it to Paul and Kevin, just see if any of the more expert traders can spot anything. Right. So
if I take the right now the 647, if I take the British pound New Zealand, if I take the URLs, in other words the links,
yeah,
and I'll put those in the Word document as well.
Yeah. Okay. Not a problem. I'll have a look. Right. So Euro, Aussie dollar, there's nothing happening. We're in a ninja down. We are below the red line, so technically we're getting close to getting interested in a sell. That the sell has occurred and it stopped at that point. So we've still got the PSR above. We're still in the ninja down, but price is actually moving upwards. So nothing of interest to us there. Euro, New Zealand, very similar, except we were in a ninja up. We're still in a ninja up, but the PSRs have flipped. The PSRs are above, so a lot of indecision going on. Basically, long wicks everywhere. Not a clear strong move. Price is starting to move up, but we're below the green line, so not interested. GBP AUD. We've got a ninja down, we're below the red line, the PSRs are above, but price is actually heading back up, and the 5-minute stochastic is pointing upwards. So a bit more indecision there. Same there. So we just need to sit on our hands and not rush into anything. See, this is looking like it's going down, but we've got this 800 moving average, which is creating a barrier. Price can't get past it. All of these moving averages provide really strong resistance or support. In this case, this is support. It's supporting price to stay above there. If it breaks below, then it'll start to act as a resistance point.
Going back to what you said before, Richard, about just following one or two pairs. Yeah. If you were just to follow two, for example, just whilst you're learning the process, would you follow both Euro pairs or a Euro pair and a GBP pair? You know, like, so, for example, Euro NZD and GBP AUD.
Yeah, but personally, my approach would be GBP AUD and a Euro pair. So the Euro pair I'll pick would be the EUR NZD. Then you've
so you're covering all four pairs.
You've got four currencies.
Four currencies, yeah.
So either that one, or the other way around. So maybe GBP NZD.
So basically covering four currencies
Yes,
in whichever way you want to go round.
yes, exactly. Yeah, that would be my approach, because then you're not getting into spell check. EUR AUD. That's the one. So yeah, I would take one of those two combinations, and then you're not getting into two British pairs. You're not getting into two Euro pairs. Well, sorry, you are getting into two British. No, you're not. You're just getting in one British pair and one Euro pair, and one New Zealand pair and one Aussie dollar pair. So you're not running the risk of something turning against you and being in two trades that turn against you. If I was just going to look, and I quite often do, even after this 8 o'clock session, I'll probably still keep an eye on these pairs, but I'll go for the one that makes a move first and not get distracted by others. And that's my approach anyway, just to make life slightly easier.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you've got alerts going off everywhere, left, right, and centre, and you're focusing on one and missing the action on another. So it's just a tip.
And the danger, of course, is that and I've done it, and Paul was saying he'd done it. We've all done it. You think you click the website or the page, and you think you're on Euro New Zealand dollar, and actually you look again, and you're actually on Euro Australian dollar.
Well, that's right. That's right. And I've been guilty of that myself. Not exactly the same, but I was looking at the 15-minute chart when I thought I was looking at the 5-minute chart. Yeah. It's so easy, particularly if you're trading on your own. I mean, that was helpful that Tony pointed that mistake out to me. Otherwise, I would still be talking about the wrong chart. It is an easy mistake to make. Yeah. So
can you just go back to the Euro New Zealand dollar on the 5-minute chart?
Yeah.
The 800 moving average is way up, is it? I've got the same colors as you have, Richard. The 200 is blue, which is below, and I've got purple for the 800, which is way up somewhere, I think. Oh no, it's actually right in the middle there for me. Anyway,
that's the purple one. Yeah, that's the 800.
Yeah,
I've just found the 200 is actually below the 800. It's way down there. Yeah.
Is there any particular reason for that with the 800? What's the number of?
I mean, I'll just sort of go back over what these indicate. The 800 moving average is it's looking at the previous 800 5-minute candles. So we're on a 5-minute chart. So it's looking at 5-minute candles. It's going back 800 candles and it's taking the average. Now you can see it's been coming down and down and down and down. Now it's leveling out. It's almost starting to turn up a little bit. So that's the average of the previous 800 5-minute candles. This is the average.
So that downward movement it's all been a down, down, down. Now it's sort of leveling off a bit, maybe.
Yeah. But what this is telling me is that in the previous 200 candles, it's been coming up. Now that you can understand that if you think this is actually no longer going down, because this was based on 800 candles. This is based on the previous 200 candles, and that's saying that those 200 candles were moving upwards. The average was moving upwards. So at some point, they will actually cross. As the 50 is already crossed. So this is the average of the last 50 5-minute candles. So in the recent past, price has been going up. The last 50 candles, price was going up. The last 200 candles, price was going up. The last 800 candles, it is just starting to go up, barely starting to go up, but it is. So it was coming down, it's going up. So that's what those three trends indicate. That price recently has been going up on average.
Right. Looking at your chart again, Richard, I can see other dissimilarities between mine. I'm on the 5-minute chart, but it's something to do, and it's something I don't quite understand. But if I move my cursor to the price band on the right hand side where your black and your 2 green are,
Yeah.
I've got all sorts of colors on mine. I've got reds and yellows, green.
All right. Okay. Okay.
And if I scroll the mouse, it does widen it, but it doesn't seem to portray. And I'm just wondering whether or not I've either got something set somewhere, because I've got the same 5-minute chart, the same, I think, more or less. But again, I've sent the URL.
Yeah, what I'm thinking we might be looking at is there are settings that you can adjust, which will affect the scale.
Right.
So you've got log and you've got auto and you've got percentage. If I toggle percentage, I'm just going to click this and see what happens. You see what happens?
Oh yeah.
And then log, and then auto. So there are settings connected with that might need adjusting on your chart, might need adjusting on my chart, to be honest. I don't know, but yeah, we'll have a look at that. There's a settings button here, so yeah, we'll have a look at that.
There's so much on these charts that could portray something totally different. You need to get it right. Yeah,
that's right. Well, if you send me those things, I will certainly have a look.
I will send them, Richard. I've got them on a Word document, and I've copied the URLs of all 4 pairs at around about 6:45, 6:47, and I put the times on them. So
yeah, not a problem. When I get them, I'll have a look for you. Okay, so
again, as I said to you yesterday, I'm working. You would not believe the pressure we are under at the moment with sickness and people. And the thing that we get a bulletin every day from what's going on in the hospital, and there were, I think, 50 odd people in with COVID in just in the Gloucestershire hospitals.
Right.
And that, I don't know, it frustrates the hell out of me because, I think they stopped the mask wearing too soon, but there again.
Yeah.
That's just an opinion. Sorry, I didn't mean to hog that.
No problem. I'm just keeping an eye on what's happening on the charts. What I'm seeing with these charts is price is sort of approaching the I believe that's the 800 moving average, the purple line. Where are we?
And the blue one is just below it.
We've got the blue line below, but it's bouncing off. It's tried, it's wicked past it, and then it's rejected. It's made another attempt there, it's rejected. It looks as if it might be going back up now. So the issue we've got is that all of our moving averages are bunched together. We've got the orange one there, the red one there, the yellow one there, purple one there, blue one there. They're all pretty close. And in that situation, you
were saying the other day, Richard, about the yellow one, which is the 5-minute. Is that the 5-minute moving average or 5?
Yeah. It's the average of the previous 5 candles.
Yeah, and then the trend change line, which is the one above it, which is
the red one, yeah,
orangey one. The yellow one that you're saying, that's the 5-minute, isn't it?
The yellow one on my chart is the average of the last 5 candles.
Yeah.
But
where's the trend change?
No, the red one. You see, the red one previously was green. See there, it's green, and then it changed to red. That's the trend. That's why we call it a trend change, because it changes color. So this green one, we were going in an upward trend. We got to that point and it changed to red because it started to go down.
If I wanted to make that thicker, I would go to settings.
Yeah.
And I'd go to style.
Yeah.
And go to which one? Trend change MA. I've got that, but it's got color in it.
It'll have the red and the give you a choice of colors for the trend change.
Yeah. I've got that. And then also the thickness of the line.
Yeah, you should have the thickness at the bottom. Where are we?
That's a lot better. It was quite thin before. Yeah.
Yeah. If you have a look at my screen, I've got trend change MA. I've got the color, and this is the thickness of the line.
Right.
So if you click on that line, you can go down the bottom and you can make it really, really thick.
Okay.
I'll just put that on for now. See how that green line is much thicker than the red line. So you need to change them both. But I've got the yellow thicker, the yellow and the red thicker than the orange, purple, and blue. It's just personal preference, you know.
Yeah, I think the very fact that it's red and green, which is what is actually happening in the market, isn't it? The green is going up and the red is going down.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, I mean, just here, we've got the yellow 5 moving average below the 13 moving average, and the gap is widening. Not by a great deal, but it's certainly not closing, it's widening, which is why we've got a sort of a strong push down. And you can see what's happened. Price has broken through the 800 moving average. It's now rejecting off the 200 moving average, which is why I'm not sure if we were talking about this same pair, but this is why I said I wouldn't be getting into this trade, because it's going to reject off both of those lines, and that's what it's done.
You think it might bounce off the 200?
It's currently bouncing off the 200. If it makes a strong push through, as it is doing now, and it clears that, then we might be looking at us getting in for a sell. But
the PSARs are not very, the down PSARs are not very wide between the top of that red candle and the PSAR dot itself.
That's right. That's exactly what I'm seeing. I'm also looking at the multi-time frame stochastic, and I'm seeing the 5 is the 15 is actually underneath my green line. The 5 is just touching the green line. So I think we should be in for price starting to go up once it's touched these, once it's sort of tested these lines. We'll come back to that. That's an interesting example of my theory. Price is going to reject off that blue line. Well, it'll either reject or it'll break through. It'll bounce or break, but it is finding resistance there. So we'll leave that for now, and we'll just go back through the pairs because it's now coming up to 7:05. I don't normally stay on beyond the 7 o'clock point. So
Richard, one day maybe could we spend 5-10 minutes on exactly what, not exactly, but on what the multi-time frame stochastic does? Because I've got all sorts of things. I whether it's wrong or saying that, but I've been using another an indicator called TDIGM, which has got just the 4 graphs, the 4 lines. But I look at the multi-time frame stochastic and I think, God Almighty, how many are there? There's so many lines. What are they telling us? What are they?
Yeah, we'll have a session on that. I mean, if you, I don't know whether you might find it simpler. If I just turn off this multi-time frame stochastic for that minute, I'll just hide it. I won't turn it off. There's a simpler indicator that you can look at, which is It's just listed as stochastic.
Right.
So the one that I was just looking at there was a multi-time frame stochastic.
Right.
Actually, it's TB combined stochastic. That's the one I've just literally just turned off. If I turn on the stochastic,
Yeah.
that looks simpler. That is, we're on the 5 minute chart, so I'm looking here at the 5 minute stochastic.
Right.
That's,
so
that's only the 5 minute.
There's 2 lines on there. What's that?
That's 2 lines. So you've got the buyers, which is the blue line. You've got the sellers, which is the red line. And the key message I'm getting from that is the buyers are in control because the blue line is above the red line.
So if the buyers are in control, does that mean you go for a buy?
That means price is increasing.
Price is increasing if the buyers are in control.
Yeah. But let me just exactly see at that point. You see where my cursor is at that point.
Yeah.
There was a crossover.
Right.
And the red line was below the blue line, and it went so that the red line is now above the blue line. Now, if you look at where my dashed line is, look up to the green candle, it suddenly became a red candle.
Sorry, say that again. You've got the green candle.
You see this green candle here?
Yeah.
It changed to the next candle was a red candle, and it started going down. And that was because the red was on top of the blue, indicating that sellers are in charge. So sellers are in charge, price is going down.
Right.
So all the time price is going down, and then there was a temporary blip there where buyers got back in control. We had a green candle.
Yeah.
And then the sellers was on top, so we were on a red candle, and so on and so on. So whichever line is on top, if the blue line's on top, buyers are in charge. If the red line's on top, the sellers are in charge. But as we quite often say, these are just indicators, and what they're telling you is what has already happened. They're not predicting the future.
I've just gone into the indicators and typed in stochastic, and there's all sorts of slow strategy, RSI, OTT.
Yeah, well, the one I've got on is just called stochastic. There's nothing else added to it. It's just stochastic. That's a simple name for it.
Let me just have a look at your thing, imbalance and that.
Yeah. The thing about this is because I'm on the 5 minute time frame, all I'm seeing is the 5 minute stochastic.
Right.
If I change to the 15 minute time frame, all I'm seeing is a 15 minute stochastic. And all Kevin's done on our this multi time frame stochastic is put all of the stochastics into one panel, so you don't need to keep flicking backwards and forwards.
Again, I'm sorry, Richard, but this is I've typed in stochastic under the indicators, metrics, and strategies. Yeah. And I've got stochastic, slow. I've got loads of them, RSI, OTT, but I cannot find a simple stochastic.
Okay, let me just see if I can. There we go. So I'm on indicators, metrics, and strategies.
Yeah.
Just type in stochastics.
Yeah.
STOCHA. Stochastic. See that blue one there?
Yeah, but that's. I haven't got that online. Technicals, community scripts.
No, I'm looking in the. I didn't do any of that. I came into indicators. Let me just go back and just follow. If you just follow exactly what I'm doing, I'm going into indicators, metrics, and strategies at the top there. I'm clicking on that.
Yeah.
I'm ignoring this. I'm simply typing in there stochastic.
Yeah.
And I've got the stochastic there. Sorry, that's under my favorites. Under technicals,
right?
I've got it. It's exactly the same one there. Stochastic.
I've only got 2 under technicals. One is stochastic RSI and stochastic slow strategy. I don't have a stochastic simple.
I've got hundreds of stochastics.
Yeah, but I've got slow stochastic and that signs and general circulation and all sorts of. I've got one single stochastic by somebody called Everget, and it's got a high rating. Sorry to hog it, Richard, but
don't worry about that. That's exactly what these sessions are for, to solve problems.
there it is. There it is.
Yeah, is that it there? Yeah.
Everget, yeah, that's
Okay.
the one.
I would click on the yellow star, and it'll add it to your favorites, and then you don't need to search for it any longer.
Right, that should be in my favorites now.
Yeah.
Stochastic 14.3 close, etc., etc. Thank you, Richard. Bless you.
Not a problem, but I would still, if you have another look later where you've got more time, just look for the simple word stochastic, and that's the one I've got. But I mean, they'll be the same, don't worry. Anyway, it's now 12 minutes past. I just want to do a quick review of all four pairs and tell you what I'm thinking when I'm looking at the charts, and then I'm going to call a halt. I don't like being on for more than an hour. It's not. I don't think it's ever more productive after the hour than it is before.
No,
so,
it's not.
right. So I'm looking at Euro Aussie dollar. We're still in indecision. We got an indicator down after the 6 o'clock mark. It went down. It went as far as these two moving averages and has rejected. But we're still not in a position to take either a buy or a sell because we've got green candles. The trend line is pointing down and is red, and we're below the green line. So there's nothing going on there. Neither have we got a strong downward movement nor a strong upward movement. So you could call that consolidation. It's 13 minutes past 7. I would have expected a bit of movement at 7, but it didn't happen. It's looking like a slow day. So
Maybe because it's Friday.
Yeah, maybe the action will occur nearer to 8 o'clock. I don't know. But right now, there's nothing of interest to me. It's mixed messages. It's below the green line. It's PSARs above, candles going in the opposite direction, bouncing off there. So it's just there's no confluence. I'm looking for confluence, and there's absolutely no confluence there. I suspect this is going to be the same. Yeah. Strong push down, got past the moving averages, started to reject. Green candles, mixed messages. GBP AUD. Very similar, isn't it? All three that we've looked at so far, just mixed messages, nothing clear. GBP NZD, exactly the same, bouncing around between those two moving averages. We need a strong movement one way or the other to get my attention, to get my interest.
Richard, shall I send that Word document through Messenger, or I think I've got your email. I'm pretty sure I have.
Yes, you've got my email. Yeah, either or, doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'll have a look at it. I'm going to.
And thank you again, Richard, really much for your patience with us newbies and
not
the guys that are on.
That's exactly why we do these sessions, to get people asking questions, because I'm sure if there's one person asking a question, there'll be other people thinking, oh, I wish I'd asked that, or I was
taught a long time ago, many years ago, when I started, well, back in my training days, back in 1984, that there is no such thing as a stupid question.
No, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And that's why we do these sessions, so people have got the opportunity to ask questions. Right, so I've done as much as I can do today. I'm gonna make myself a cup of coffee and come back to the chart. But basically what I'm looking for is a strong move. I suspect the move, if it comes, will be in an upwards direction, because we've been in this downward direction for a while now. I think we might be gonna get, or we could get absolutely no move at all. There was one day earlier this week when we got nothing out of Crossfire, but you know, that's the way the market goes.
That was what I was just going to say there, Richard. The thing with this strategy is now I'm finding, as I've been following now for a month or two, is that some days there is no trade and you can't make a trade. That's what I was doing in the early days. I was trying to force a trade. If there isn't one, there isn't one, and you're only looking for one 10-pip trade in that day, is job done. Yeah,
that's exactly my mindset. I try to only take one trade a day. My ideal day is when I take one trade, I get 10 pips, and that 10 pips gives me sufficient money-wise to hit my target.
Job done by 7 o'clock, 10 past 7, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, ideal. I mean, I'll still watch the charts. I might take other trades on a demo account, but on my main account, if I can get one trade to give me 10 pips, and those 10 pips have sufficient value to give me my daily target, that's me done and dusted. Why would I want to take another trade and risk giving that money back to the market?
That's where my mind's flipped now. I'm the same as you. I've got exactly the same.
Yeah, I'm getting there, Tony.
Yeah, it took me a long time. I used to go looking for trades, and I could take 10, 20, more than 20 pips in it. Sorry, more than 20 trades in a day. And now I look back and I think, well, actually, in the morning I made money, but in the afternoon I gave it back.
Yeah, there was a certain gentleman that used to follow us a month or two ago. We'll mention no names.
Yeah.
And vastly overtraded. I used to, where are you getting that trade from? There's no trade there.
That's right.
And it took a while, but the pennies dropped with me now. I look for one trade.
Yeah.
If I get it and I get me 10 or even 8 or 9, I'll take 8 or 9. And then if I've got my trade, I've got my profit, I'm done. Yeah, and practice on a demo, fair enough. But I was going back in to try and get another 8 or 9 or 10 and losing the previous 8, 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And it's madness.
If you ever watch Brian Knight in the evenings, the phrase that he used, which resonates, was, I don't look for any old trade. I don't even look for good trades. I look for great trades. And sometimes he doesn't, he'll go days without taking a trade. But when he takes a trade, it's a cracking trade. It's a really, really good trade.
Yeah, I've watched Brian a few times. That's the mindset to have, definitely.
Yeah. And he's more.
Again, sorry, Richard.
Sorry, say again.
What's his name?
Brian Knight.
Oh, Brian Knight. Yeah, okay.
On about 8:30 most days of the week.
8:30 in the evening.
8:30 our evening, but he's in Australia.
Australian into
yeah. So he's 9 hours ahead of us. So, but he's on relentlessly every day of the week. Well, I think he misses one day, but you get an hour to watch him. He's really interesting guy, really successful. But he's got it down to he's quite happy to go days and days without a trade. And then he'll take a trade and he'll take 12% of his 12% account growth in that one trade. It's really good. Anyway, I'm going to go. I need to make a cup of coffee. I hope we get a bit of a movement, but it's all a bit in the doldrums at the minute. So good luck.
Thank you, Richard.
Yeah, cheers, Richard. Thank you.
Problem. I was going to say John McLaughlin's on at 1 o'clock. I don't think it's going to be John. I think Paul's stepping in for John at 1 o'clock on the Crossfire Gold. Although if Paul's doing it, he may do general Crossfire. But I think Paul's on in lieu of John McLaughlin at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and then Brian Knight will be the next one at 8:30 this evening. And then that's us done for the week. Anyway, thanks for jumping on. I'm going to try and record that session that I messed up yesterday. And when I do, I'll put a link in Facebook group for you.
Brilliant.
Cheers, Richard. Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
a lot. Cheers now.